All right. So, let's start this off right, shall we? Yes? No? Maybe so? Well, ain't that something? There is a Smash Con. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna start this bitch off right. Showstopper in the motherfucking house. Come on. All right. It's showtime, ladies and gentlemen. It is showtime. Okay, first of all, how is everyone today? Good? Peachy Keen, everyone had a good weekend? Now, for those of you who decided, hey, you know what? Forget the Tabernacle. Forget the fact that Dave Chappelle and Jon Stewart are going to be making an appearance there. Forget the trip to the movies and all that jazz. I just want to learn Japanese. If you're one of those people, then by all means, welcome aboard. If you want to learn Japanese for fun, then congratulations. Welcome to my live stream. My name is Showa60 for all of you who are new to me and new to this site. Well, new to this YouTube channel. Today we'll be learning the fine art of good old Japanese. Oh yeah, what is Japanese anyway? Well, Japanese is a Japonic language. It is the base language of Japan, even though you might come across a few Japanese that will speak English, Spanish, Korean, or even a couple of other languages. But if you want to survive in this, if you ever plan on taking a trip there or moving there or trying to work in a company there, then chances are you're going to want to learn this language. It is a damn good language at that. It's a fun language. Now, some of you probably want to learn Japanese because you don't want to read subtitles in your favorite anime. And you don't want to listen to the dubs either. Okay, that I can understand. Because, hey, I mean, that's just how it is. Some people just want to learn Japanese so they don't have to read subtitles. And, yeah, that I can understand. Some of you could be asking me, like, Showa, why are you studying Japanese? What for? What's the whole purpose? Well, contrary to what you might see around here, whether you're on my Instagram or on my Facebook or on Discord, I've loved Japanese culture growing up. Well, this started when I was 5. How funny, because like I got into video games also at that very age, thanks to Super Mario Brothers. But with Japanese, it began with karate. Yeah, it all began with this little word. Karate is one of the principal martial arts, most commonly mispronounced as karate, which really gets me at times, but yeah, it irks me. But anyway, this was the martial art that got me into the culture in the first place, because Japan is a wonderful, and it got me into thinking that, you know, Japan is a wonderful place. It seems like a wonderful place. There are hundreds of islands in this country, the main 4 being Hokkaido, Honshu, Shikoku, and Kyushu. It's a volcano. Also, one of the major trade-offs is that Japan is an earthquake zone, and it houses a couple of volcanoes. Some are very active. Of course, there is one known volcano that a lot of people can rest assured with, and that is Mount Fuji. So, that being said, we'll take a quick break. Ow. Alright, and we are back, ladies and gents. So, some of you are probably wondering why I got Clip Studio Paint opened and what is with this ridiculous arse chart here. So, before you can start with Japanese, before you can start with the Japanese language in of itself, there are some things I really want you to take notice of. And that is the spoken language. The chart I just showed you is guided by a special vowel system. So, with that said, allow me to introduce you to these. No, not very thick. We needed extra. These are the vowels of the Roman alphabet. A, I, U, E, O. However, the order goes A, E, I, O, U here in these United States of America or any other English-speaking territory. The only difference here is that with Japan, the vowel setup is, well, A, I, U, E, O. Now, I know some of you who are probably watching right about now will be like, I don't get it. What's going on here? Now, unlike America, where the vowel system, where the vowels can be pronounced any old way they want to, the Japanese have a very strict vowel pronunciation practice. So, in other words, A right here, the letter A makes an ah sound. One of the best examples of this is the word guard. The letter I makes an E sound. Best example, field. So if you're trying to learn Japanese and you think of the letter I, you think of the pronunciation E. Now for the letter U. Oh God, the letter U. Where do I begin? First of all, let's talk about Yu Yu Hakusho. Right? See, one of my biggest gripes with any form of Japanese media that comes here in America or any other country is that it's commonly mispronounced. This gripe kind of developed the minute I got the hang of Japanese, and for every time I hear mispronunciation, it just irks me to no end. It's cringy, and it makes me feel like, why, God? Why did we allow this to happen? But, okay. Yusuke, the main protagonist. Now, if you watch the English dub of Yu Yu Hakusho, you'll come to find that Yusuke's name, well, his last name, is commonly mispronounced as Urameshi. Yeah, that may have flown when I first saw this series, but even back then when it came stateside, I was like, that's not how U is pronounced, especially when someone's name starts off with that. Of course, we're going by Romaji here. more on that in a later time. See, the original pronunciation of anything with a U on it is pronounced oo. An example word for this is so you can get a good idea is Groot. I am Groot. I can smell the response of I am Steve Rogers. But yeah, U in Japanese makes an oo sound. Oo. So instead of Yusuke Urameshi, it should be pronounced Yusuke Urameshi. 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 Speaking of we got the letter E right here. Now, the letter E yeah, another cringy mispronunciation that many proficient in the language may not tell you this, but another common problem comes from a very popular word. Let me give you a clue. This word is best described for when people try to sing cover versions of their favorite songs. In fact, this mispronunciation has been so popular that that a lot of people for eons have ran with it. Most of us might know this. Most of us English speakers might know this as karaoke. However, the original pronunciation is karaoke. That's the true pronunciation. So, how the heck do we remedy that? See, in Japan, in the Japanese language, the letter E makes an sound. Best example term, get. Doesn't matter where now, allow me to just say this right now. It doesn't matter where these letters are placed when you use Romaji versions of the Japanese language. You'll come to find that these pronunciations remain static and do not change no matter what words you use. Which brings us to the letter O. O makes an O sound. O sound. Best example word for that will be things that Peter Bateman and the gang tend to bust every day. Ghost. One thing you have to one thing you would have to come to grips with is that, and this is very important, pronunciations are not interchangeable. Konnichiwa. Or rather, konbanwa. But yes, welcome to the stream. You are just in time. So, to recap, for all of my non-Japanese speakers, and those getting into the language, or those who have already spoken Japanese but rather would have a nice little review. The letter A makes an A sound. The letter I makes an E sound. The letter U makes a U sound, and always an U sound. E makes an E sound, and O makes a O sound. Something that you will have to remember. So, that said, I would like to give you guys a little... So, I hope you guys... Oh, one other thing. You might want to bring some pen and paper for this one, because all of this is very important. Or, trust me, on this one, this will be pre-recorded once this stream is over, so whenever you have a chance or opportunity, by all means, take as many notes as you can when you see it once you see this pre-recorded. So, that said, let me erase all these. You're welcome to backtrack through the stream if you want as well. That said, let's talk about kana. There are 3 forms of Japanese writing as far as the written language goes. There's hiragana, katakana, and kanji. We'll get to those in a little bit. First, I'm going to show you what these vowels mean in Japanese. No, lose that. Starting with the hiragana. Next up, we're going to start with katakana. Okay. Here's a fun fact. Sometime around in the 19th century, the 2 forms of kana were all gender-based. In other words, men used katakana while females used hiragana. I don't know if I could call it a fact, but if there's any actual Japanese people within this stream, you might want to correct me on that. So right now, hiragana is used for Japanese words. Let me provide an example. Ocha. Or simply tea. Ocha wa oishishou da yo. Na. But yes. Hiragana is best used for Japanese words, and is a good starting point for those who are trying to learn kanji as well, or forming sentences. Most JLPT exams will involve sentences that will involve hiragana or katakana, or rather, N5, the N5 and N4 portions of these respectively. That is until you get used to all of the N5 vocabulary in that language. So yeah, there's hiragana for you. Next up on the list of kanji of Japanese writing is katakana. Now, the best way to describe katakana is for borrowed words with no literal Japanese translation. Now, perfect example would be computer. Computer. Which simply means holy shoot. Computer. So essentially, now, so, hope you guys got what I said. In other words, hiragana for Japanese words such as ocha, katakana for non-Japanese words like computer or Coca-Cola, and last, but certainly not least, or last but certainly least for anyone who has done kanji before and freaking hates it, kanji. Now, some of you who are new to this would be probably wondering, what the heck is kanji? Well, Asuka Langley Soryu of Evangelion, well, if you're watching the sub version, said that she never mastered all of the Chinese ideographs, and that is exactly what they are. Chinese writing used to create Japanese words. Here's an example. Believe it or not, that is the Now, believe it or not, this is actually the kanji for a very popular Dragon Ball character, Goku. But yeah, this is kanji right there. So that said, we're going to go with this nice little chart here. This is the hiragana and katakana chart. When you get a chance, what I want you to do is go to Google and look for a kana chart much like this one. I suggest you go for the larger ones. This is the katakana side. Right here, this is the alphabetical order. Based on the vowel system. A, I, U, E, O. Going further down. Now, from ka all the way to wa, you'll notice that these are all based off of consonants. So, that being said, here's a little heads up here. The consonant order goes a little something like this. Oops. Nope. Wow, really? K, S, or Z, T or D, N, H, B, P, M, Y, and R. Now, this right here, these right here are to help indicate the differences between the letter variations. Here's an example. Now, the best example of this is the kana, which utilizes the consonant H. Ba and pa. Ba uses these two little marks right here. Pa uses this nice little circle here as well. So, one thing you have to remember once you make use of this chart is the consonant order right here. That being said, there's another thing that I really want you guys to take into consideration, is that there is another form of writing, and that is, you guessed it, ladies and gents, Romaji. Romaji utilizes the Roman alphabet for Japanese words. Romaji is simply Romanized Japanese. Here's an example. The surname Tachikawa. The kanji for it would be also the hiragana would be so there you have it. Okay, so going once, going twice. Sold to every single person who took notes. So, I'm going to be taking a nice little break. I hope you guys gathered as much information as you could, because we're about to go later on we are about to go deeper into Japanese grammar. Alright, welcome back. Also, O's double N, thank you for that bit of information. Like, seriously, I did not know that. But yeah, for those of you who do watch this or see the top chat, in 19th century, words of foreign origin were brought to Japan. So at the time, many Japanese novelists and literary scholars translated foreign terms into Japanese. So you might want to take that information down. Some fun things to know about kanji also. Obviously, kanji is Chinese ideographs used for Japanese terms. That said, Japanese people learn up to over 2,000 forms of kanji periodically. But of course, the amount of kanji. Okay, believe it or not, the 2,000 forms of kanji are basically the kanji that people care about. Now, here's the thing. Unfortunately, for this live stream, I cannot teach you guys kanji. The most I can do, however, is provide you a kanji word for one whole day. Or at least 1, 2, or 3 kanji words that you can utilize. Now, bear with me for 1 second while I give you a nice little recommendation. First of all, this first recommendation is what we're going to be basing our lessons on. Complete Japanese grammar from the Practice Makes Perfect series. Now, I found this over at Barnes & Noble, and there were 2 versions of it. Basic Japanese grammar and complete Japanese grammar. I thought to myself, no, I am not doing basic grammar and just ending it there. If I'm going to spend my money, I'm just going to spend it on the more complete and definitive version from the Practice Make Perfect series, and that is complete Japanese grammar. This is one of these books that are used in public school, or used in schools, or any school in America that has the inclination to speak Japanese, to teach their students the Japanese language. Another recommendation that I would suggest is the Genki series, which is like the more raw version of learning Japanese, which I should get. Not only does this workbook help you with like the fundamentals of grammar, it also helps you with like the writing system, and it provides a lot of skill building exercises. So, that being said, there are a couple of notes that I've taken before veering off into the whole concept of kanji, and that is word order. One thing to learn is that with basic sentences, Japanese sentences usually ends with verbs. Verbs tend to end a sentence. So let's provide a nice little juicy example right here. Okay, goodbye. For example, Yakyu, field ball in Japanese. It was developed from the westernization of New Japanese. That's pretty dope. Okay, safe to say I tried, but you're seeing the point here. The sentence reads, 僕は日本語を教えます. And for some of you who cannot read my chicken scratch writing, the translation reads, I'm teaching Japanese. So, what you're seeing here, this is actually the verb. Now, oh my gosh. Oshiemasu is the more proper form, well, the polite form of osieru. This is the dictionary form, which means to explain or to teach or to instruct. Most Japanese sentences, well, a lot of Japanese sentences always end with a verb like this, be it polite or informal or things like that. Now, wa, the hiragana symbols ha and wo are considered particles. When they're used as, now when these particular symbols are used as particles, they take on a whole different pronunciation level. Ha, as far as particles go, are pronounced wa, and wo is pronounced o. Now this might help you a bit. You might not want to listen to some of these Japanese singers and make them look like the bad teachers just because the thing is they do pronounce o as wo, which I find kind of odd. I guess it's to make the song look, I guess it's to make the song sound cool, but looking back on it, that's kind of understandable. So yeah, these particles help bring out a sense of being. Now, if you're feeling brave, or if the person you're speaking Japanese to is a pro or a native, then there will be times where sentences will be shortened with the removal of pronouns and things of the like. Why? Here's the thing, Japanese is a very context-heavy language. What that means is, if you've lived in Japan long enough or have studied enough Japanese, you'll come to get used to doing some sentence-based shorthand. For example, so if somebody were to ask you, who's this in Japanese? And if you guys know exactly what that is, you might run around and say, これは私のです. To someone who is new to the language, they might not get it like, what is yours? Or something like that. So I would not use shorthand on someone new to the language. Let's say you guys are looking for a camera and they ask, where's the camera in Japanese? Or, カメラはどこですか? Or they might ask, このカメラは誰ですか? このカメラは誰ですか? Or someone new to it might say, これは私のカメラです. But if you understand the context very well, you might just simply say, 私のです. Or, これは私のです. これは私のです. But now there are many foreign words in Japan. So foreign words are more katakana than English equivalent in Japanese. That's also true. Now, another particle that I would like for you guys to know is this particular one. Ni. Now, ni is best used for destinations. Here's an example. We're gonna go with okay, that I understand. But yeah, the particle ni. Ni is best used for definitions. For destinations, actually. For example, boku wa shoten ni imasu, or I'm in a bookstore. Now, destinations are not... Now, as far as the particle is concerned... Now, of course, as far as the particle is concerned, ni is not necessarily limited to a literal destination, like, say, old bookstore over here. Ah, crap. It can also mean something like... Here's another example. Ah, thank you very much. Now, this example sentence is basically saying, クレアは僕に会っています。Or, Claire met me. But seriously though, I don't really know a Claire. It'd be nice though. But anywho. It's not the best sentence I'd made, but you get the point. The sentence is basically saying that Claire met me. Or Claire met Claire met a person. Now, this clearly states that, now, imas, or iru, is basically stating the situation that occurred, or is occurring right now, which is kind of a better state of being, but I'm getting ahead of myself there. Note how I didn't use the past tense. Okay, that said, let's continue. Let's put a little... Now, let's see if we can put a little more emphasis on this particle. This is the hiragana for ha. As I stated earlier, wa, as far as particles go, is pronounced wa. Whatever you do. Now, if you were to type in Japanese, or to type a sentence in Japanese on your computer, as if you have IME, then chances are, if you were to type wa, then you would be clearly screwing up. So because let me explain why. Nouns are marked by this particular particle. So after a noun, you type or write in the word particle ha, but instead of pronouncing it as such, you go as wa. Here's an example. But before I put this example in, I'll be right back. We're going to take a Okay, we're back. Okay. Previously, I mentioned particles. Ni was used for destinations. Wa, or ha, is used to mark nouns. You're going to learn more about this later on, but let me provide an example of how wa works. So, there you have it. 今日は土曜日です。今日は土曜日です。 which literally translates to today is Saturday, except for it's not yet, at least. That is, unless you're living in Japan or any other part of the world, then yeah. Another example is, let's see. Now this one says, Becky wa utsukushii desu. Becky wa utsukushii desu. Or Becky is beautiful. For any Beckys that are watching this one, that's for you. All right, one more example. This third sentence says, 私はご飯を食べています。私はご飯を食べています。One more time. 私はご飯を食べています。Or, I'm eating. Or, I'm eating rice. Actually, I'm eating a whole dinner right now. はい、今は夕ご飯を食べています。本当に美味しい。So essentially, ha, when it's pronounced wa, is used for particle usage, excluding the term Gohan here. Not to be confused with Son Gohan from Dragon Ball. So there you go. All right. So that said, when you get a chance, I want you to write down these particular words here. Kyo, meaning today. Doyobi, which is Saturday. Utsukushi. Beautiful. Please don't sing that damn song, because that would hurt me horribly if I heard it. Now, last but certainly not least, Kyo, 土曜日、美しい、ご飯。Kyo means today. 美しい beautiful. ご飯 rice. 土曜日 Saturday. So consider that your homework assignment, guys. Tune in next time where we cover more about sentence structure. And we'll be providing some more, and yours truly will be providing more vocabulary words. So, until next time, this is Showa signing out. Thank you guys so much for watching the stream. Sorry I wasn't the best teacher, but hopefully you like what I can provide you. Now, be sure to practice. Also, one more recommendation before you leave. Tuttle's Japanese, Kanji, and Kana. This is a very good book right here. Now, the book I'm holding in my hand is a nice little guide that provides you like up to over 2,000 kanji that people care about. This version provides the stroke order, the meaning, and a couple of vocabulary words to associate with it, along with a kana chart before you get started. It'll teach you everything you need to know about kanji. You can get this at Barnes & Noble, or you can get it on Amazon, and it's available for a very good price, as you don't get it used. So, till next time, this is yours truly. じゃあね。